Going on, brother?
How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good, good. Just wrapping up work right now.
Nice, nice.
Long day, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good.
That's good.
Got my wisdom teeth taken out Sunday, so just kind of recovering from that. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. It's nothing compared to what a lot of people face, and I kind of always try to
hmm
compare. Like especially working in the hospital setting myself, so I
hmm
try to compare in that sense, and it's nothing compared to what a lot of people face, man. So I'm very,
Yeah.
very blessed in that regard.
So swelling looks good. It doesn't look like you're having any swelling.
Yes, yeah.
That's
Swelling's
good.
down. I'm taking plenty of the ibuprofen, all the antibiotics, all the fun things, So
Mhm.
thankfully we're doing pretty well in that regard.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool,
How
man.
how are you doing though, brother?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm good. Just, doing the bodybuilding coaching thing.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think I've
Barely.
caught you at a couple shows. You were you at the Indiana Muscle or no, down south?
Yes, I was. I was. I
Gotcha.
had
Your
two
guy won the
athletes.
overall there, didn't he?
Indiana Muscle. No, I don't think so. I think we won the overall Masters.
Okay, Masters, yeah.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
won the overall
he looked
Masters.
killer, man. Your guys are
Thank you.
all of
Thank you.
them look really good. I've been going
I
through the
appreciate
page
it.
and it's pretty stellar stuff. So
Yeah, I'm blessed to be having good athletes. It's not just being a good coach, because let's be real, man. You see some coaches out there and they're garbage,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they get genetic freaks back to back and they just do really well with them, which
I
anybody would.
know. Oh yeah, exactly. Anybody can coach some of the best genetics out there,
Mhm.
and yeah, you couldn't have said it better. So, Matt, how we doing, brother?
We're doing
How's
good.
it going, man?
Nice to meet you officially, man.
Nice to meet you as well.
I have for sure seen you around at the shows as well. But I mean,
Same.
typically we've both been with clients or
Mhm.
vice versa, running around doing everything. But it's
Yeah.
nice to officially get to put a face to a name.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. It's a pleasure. You have a great physique, man. You have a great
Oh,
physique.
likewise, dude. I really appreciate
Thank you.
that. Thank you, man. And thanks for coming on the podcast with me and Isaiah. This is going to be a great episode. I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
it.
Dude, I've been wanting to do something like this because I used to have something like this with Austin
Mm.
Brown. We used to do these
Yeah.
lives,
Yeah.
but back then I was a lot more pressed for time, and he was too. So I'm trying to
Mhm.
restart them,
Yeah.
somehow, somewhere. So I'm
Hey,
excited that this opportunity arose.
oh yeah, most definitely, man. We appreciate you coming on. Like Matt was saying,
Absolutely.
it's definitely been a long time coming, man. We've all kind of been following you on Instagram and kind of checking what you've been putting to work there. And I'll go ahead and pull your stuff up here if you want to kind of give us a general rundown of
I appreciate
about
it.
you and the type of coach competitor that you are and kind of what's gotten you into this journey, brother.
I appreciate that. So, Daniel Fabode, I go by, a lot of people don't even know my name. They just call me Black Rambo, but Black
Yeah.
Rambo is the Instagram. I'm an Olympian. I'm aiming to get back to the Olympia stage after my accident last year. And I'm a coach, and that's my priority. I take great pleasure in coaching athletes. It's something that I take great pride in. We also own a gym, Fabode Fitness. So if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky, come on and check us out. But
Nice. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I
That's awesome,
appreciate you
man.
giving me this opportunity.
Oh, without a doubt, man. And you have a killer physique.
Thank you.
My coach, I think you might know Brad Killian by chance.
Yes, 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 absolutely, dude. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Brad's
that.
my coach, and he's showed me a ton of like your posing and like kind of you and your physique over the years. And
Appreciate that.
it's ever since I started following you, man, it's been definitely a big motivator for me because a lot of similar like muscle bellies as far as like our
Mhm.
legs go. Legs are the strong point, and then
Yes,
you've just been killer with the upper body, man. Like the arms, the chest, the
I've been
back that you've
trying.
developed, man, it's killer.
I've been trying. I
So.
know you feel my pain, dude, because like every show we go to, like the feedback is you look freaking great, everything's on point, but your legs are just a little too big,
Yes,
you
man.
know. So
I've
I even
never heard
guest
that,
posed.
unfortunately.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm gonna get in the subject as well. But so initially, what I was gonna say is I did guest pose at the Kentucky Cup, and Bill Sabila was there and was like, "Yeah, man, you look great. You've been growing your upper body, but it still needs to grow compared to your lower half."
Wow.
And then second part to that, I feel like it's heavily genetically dependent on the leg department. Because I know
Mhm.
some athletes like you, Matt, because I've seen you train. You train your legs freaking hard.
Oh, so hard,
And
man.
and I'm pretty sure you're nailing every aspect of your bodybuilding. So it's not necessarily, I feel like just sometimes people need more time on a body part to get to a certain degree. For me, it's the
Mhm.
upper body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm. I think that's a great point. And I think the body parts that tend to not respond as quickly. Sometimes developing that mind muscle connection and learning truly how to train it for yourself can just take a
Mhm.
little bit more time as well. So I think that's a great point for absolutely.
I agree.
Most definitely. And what's Daniel, like what's your background as far as like stepping into bodybuilding? What really got you into this world and how it's really developed for you over the years with training, with coaching, with
Mhm.
opening the gym? Like how has that all kind of unfolded for you, brother?
It's funny. So we I started basically bodybuilding because I was pretty fat as a kid. And I watched Pumping Iron and I was like, I want to be like those guys. So my dad actually had like a little like 1 inch, barbell bench, all that good stuff. And I started training them. And then
Mhm.
whenever I came to the US, because I used to live in Greece, I was born and raised there.
Mhm.
When I moved to the US when I was 16, 17, I decided to like self-prep myself, do a show, and I just fell in love with it. Right. And then you know how it is. You get the bug, you just continue to just pursue it and pursue it relentlessly. Thankfully, I
Mhm.
had, a good enough physique to make it to the point that I am now, but I never thought I'd even today I don't feel like I do, right? Like you see yourself, and I'm sure you guys can relate. You're like, man, I look like crap, but then someone else is like, I wish I looked like you. And
Yeah.
vice versa, we think the same way about ourselves. My dream is to be an open bodybuilder. I want to be a freaking freak show, but I
Mhm.
don't think I'm capable of just eating that amount or being able to get that big period, potentially genetically, because I've never pushed it, so I don't know. But
Mhm.
I divert. I think you asked me another question completely. That's where bodybuilding started for me.
There
No,
we
it was
go.
great.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So,
When I moved here in the US, I essentially met my wife, we got married. I'm gonna fast forward.
yeah.
And I started working construction. I did remodeling, owned my own business in remodeling. I loved it, and I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. But it did not give me happiness because I still genuinely loved bodybuilding. So I was like, you know what, we have our house now. Let's build a little, back shed so I can have like a little home gym. And that slowly transitioned into personal training. Then I got a permit to like literally personal train out of our facility at the house. And then we built a 50 by 50, no, yeah, 50 by 50, 2,500 square foot building with just gym equipment. And I would just personal train from there. And then eventually that transitioned into online coaching. I couldn't continue to handle both. So I just kind of gave up the remodeling.
Mhm.
And then the personal training also fell off because personal training is freaking time consuming,
Very, yeah.
very time
Very much
consuming. So
so.
you barely breathe between sessions. So then it became only online coaching. And because we had all the equipment from accumulating so much, we were able to open the gym later on eventually, which is Fabode Fitness now. So that's kind of the background and the backstory. A lot of people are like, dang, that's a lot. We've
That's
gone through a lot of
crazy.
life.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And to kind of like develop that business of remodeling and to completely turn
Mhm.
it into something bigger and greater in the sense of coaching and personal training and developing that. That's pretty sick, man.
Thank you.
When do you
Thank you.
think that you knew that that was going to be like that was the transition for you? Like in the midst of like managing and owning that construction business, where did
Bro,
you start making more personal training or how did that all come about?
I still I'm like, it's incredible like that I'm at this spot right now. So like I never genuinely felt like, okay, I'm just gonna be a coach. I'm gonna own a gym. I was just like, keep working hard, and hopefully one day something like that will happen. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just kept working hard to improve my quality of life and hopefully have some kind of retirement plan eventually. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I think the turning point was whenever I felt capable into coaching athletes to a pro card, and I realized that I took like 3 or 4 years when I first started coaching, which was 2017, and I
Mhm.
really invested in education. I looked at drugs, I looked at PDs, I looked at the things that people talked about but didn't know specifics about.
Right.
And I also looked at the care of my athletes. How do I care for an athlete the proper way? And I
Mhm.
thought to myself, what would I like to receive as an athlete? You know what I mean? So whenever I check those boxes off, I realized that the service I provide, although very commonly provided, very
Mhm.
few do a good job with it.
Yeah.
So once I started actually advertising, having those before and afters, those clients had experiences. They gave my recommendation to someone else. Social media started taking off a little bit. So it kind of like all came to a crescendo. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I can actually leave remodeling and personal
Yeah.
training and just do online coaching. I think that was like 3 or 4 years into coaching from 2017. So like 2021.
2021. Yeah.
hmm
Nice.
So it's fairly recently. Don't get it wrong.
Right, right,
It's
right. But
fairly,
honestly,
you
good
know.
timing for it though, especially with like COVID and everything kind of happening around that
Mhm.
same time frame. So online coaching really kind of took a big boom. And I think that
Yes.
you kind of saw that with not only like the athletes and bodybuilding as well, but you kind of see that now just in general across the board. Like
hmm
anywhere you feel like it's all you can do anything remote, it feels like anymore. So
Absolutely.
for that transition to kind of happen right at that time frame, it honestly couldn't have been much better. So
Absolutely. You know what's funny? You said COVID. So I don't know if they're going to block COVID anymore. I don't know if that's a
oh
word
no,
that you're not
I'd
supposed
hope
to
not, man. We're well past that.
Buzzword.
You
Yeah.
know, what's funny is whenever we were buying the equipment for our facility for the house, it was during COVID and gyms were closing down because they could not afford to open.
Mm,
And dude, they were giving out equipment that was like $1,000 for 200 to 300 bucks. We were
Really?
buying
nice.
Strive and Prime
Oh
pieces for
man.
literally dirt cheap. And they're like, hey, if I don't get rid of it, the owners are just going to take it and take it to the dump and throw it
Mhm.
away. So they're
Yeah.
like, I'd rather just make something out of it. Sometimes, like, we would finish because it would be auctions. Would be the last ones at the auction, and the owners would be like, hey, there's still half a gym in there. If you have room and you want to take it because it's just going to go to waste.
That's
So it
incredible,
was
man.
like prime time to buy gym equipment. So
Yeah.
everyone out there, if there's any pandemics happening, look for gym equipment.
Go buy gym equipment. Invest now.
That's so interesting because I would have thought that during COVID, when everything shut down, that everyone would be buying gym equipment up because all of them were closed.
Well,
But
you can't go nowhere. You couldn't even go to your garage to use the gym equipment. If you had like a unit or something, you couldn't go anywhere. There was a curfew, so
Yeah.
nobody even tried. So we
mhm.
basically had because we had the building in the back of our house, it was very convenient because I'd literally go pick up and I would just back up, put in the building. That's it. I don't have to go to no facility. I don't have to
Right.
give an account to somebody. My athletes and my clients could come see me still. And we definitely applied the COVID parameters that were introduced back then, 6 feet apart and all that great stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude, it was ridiculous with that stuff, especially for gyms. Like, how do you expect business to survive? That was
Yeah.
disgusting. So,
Yeah,
anywho,
no, I know that kind of took down a lot of businesses, especially like the small business movement that kind of started after that. So, yeah, man, that's quite incredible there in that regard. To kind of build up the gym the way you did. I mean, that's pretty remarkable stuff, you know. I mean, the
thank you.
dedication and the hard work that goes into that too. I mean, I know that you're saying like it was just luck of the draw, but you had to put in the time, effort, and energy to get those pieces and to bring them back
Absolutely.
and to set that all up. So that's
Yeah.
pretty remarkable there.
I can attest to how big of a pain in the ass moving gym
It's a
equipment is.
pain in
Oh, it scares me, man, because typically like you're just on like some type of dolly or like one of the
Yep.
little loaders and
Pallet jacks,
it
yeah.
could, yeah, the pallet jacks and that shit
You
could tip
know,
one way or the other.
Oh
dude,
man.
it was just me and my wife moving equipment. So we actually came up with a system. We
Oh,
bought an engine hoist. We seen our neighbor using an engine hoist for his four-wheeler or something. And I
Wow.
was like,
hmm.
hey, where can I buy one of those? And he was like, Harbor Freight has it for the cheapest, like you can find it for like 125 bucks. So we brought it everywhere with us, and everyone was looking at us like we were aliens. I was like, dude, you just grab a strap and you wrap it around the machine, however, and it literally cranks it, and you can move the whole machine. An engine weighs way more than a gym equipment, a
That's
piece of equipment.
genius.
Yeah.
So we started doing that, and I had a truck bed in a trailer. So I would just bring the engine hoist right above the trailer level and drop it inside the trailer. So I didn't have to like move anything except like strapping it, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's
So we had to
beautiful.
be smart because if not, dude, I'm a bodybuilder. I wouldn't last that long. I would
Yeah,
have
right.
injured something,
Oh
you
no, I
know.
feel you, dude. I didn't move because I was in the middle of prep and I told my fiance at the time, wife now, I told her I was like, I'm not touching a single piece of furniture. If you expect me to
Yes.
move one bit, like I'm like 4 weeks out, it's not happening. So I
We
feel
just
you
moved. I
there.
told you that last week through
Yeah,
Instagram. We
yeah,
just
just
moved.
moved too. Yep.
First time I ever paid a moving company because I've always been like, I can do it. I'm a man. I'm gonna move the house. I'm gonna move the gym. I'm gonna move everything. And then I'm
Right.
debilitated for like freaking 6 weeks after, right? So my
Mhm.
wife was like, hey, you're getting old. You just had a car accident. Let's just get the moving company. So we get it. Dude, they move it in a day, way faster than I could ever move it. Didn't break
Mhm.
anything. I broke half the stuff I moved every time I moved. And it was fairly affordable. And I was like, why have I been so stupid and greedy? Sometimes it's like you
It's just
make
the
money, you
stubbornness
spend the
of
money.
a man, you know. I feel like it's just stubbornness of a
Mhm.
man. Like we all just want to do it
For sure.
ourselves, and you know, and I totally understand that and that too. So, yeah, I feel like we're all just, you know, we just want to be hands on. Essentially, bodybuilders
Mhm.
as well. Like we all try to bring our best every single day. In that regard, you don't want to take any other help, you know, like you
Right,
just handle it
right.
yourself. So, I feel
The
you
ego.
there. Yeah, the ego's there for sure. So I kind of fast forwarded a bit. So I did want to touch on your Olympian status and Olympia debut. So I think that's in your page somewhere along the lines here. Tell me a little bit about getting that. Well, first, let's go get your IFBB Pro card and then going
Hmm.
from there to the Olympia. Kind of like how that process all took along and how it felt to get onto the
Hmm.
Olympia stage.
So the getting my pro card, it was every stage that I've accomplished in life and in bodybuilding, by the
Mm,
time I get there, I'm like, it's about freaking time. Like it's never been, you know what I mean? Not, you
hmm
know what I'm saying when you compete repeatedly and you're like, you get there at that at a certain point, but you're like, man, I've
hmm
been freaking going at this for a fat minute. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would hope I would get it at some point. So it was kind of that. I was at the end of my width there. I was like, this is the last national show I'm doing, and if I cannot get it, I'm probably just gonna hang it up in terms of competing because I couldn't afford it. I was doing remodeling, my knees were hurting, my back was hurting,
hmm
you know. And then we went to Junior USA's after. If you're looking for my Olympia show, you probably won't find it
But
because it's
I
my
won't
worst
find it.
showing.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop scrolling there. Thanks for the heads
It
up. I would have kept on going, brother.
it was my worst showing. I don't take much pride in it because it was a forced prep. I was not into it, did not want
Mm,
to do it. Had the proper coaching, proper support, everything was there, but I just could not. That prep was just not meant for me. I qualified for the Olympia way too early. That's what I
mm,
think about the Olympia. And it ended up being a bad prep. I should have just taken time. I wasn't as mature as an athlete as I am now in terms of handling post show, in terms of handling loss. You know what I
mm.
mean? Because up to that point, I'd never lost except my only one national show prior to the one that I got overall.
Wow.
So I've seen one loss and I was like, okay, this is just the one off. It'll never happen again,
Yeah.
right? And then you go to the Olympia and you get this freaking smack in the face, and you see that, dang, you are a lot years behind these people. You
Mm,
know what I mean? So it was a bittersweet experience. I wish I was more mature and I was able to say, you know what, you're not ready, but go there and enjoy it, have fun.
yeah.
Because unfortunately, we don't get paid for the sport. You just go there and compete, whether you're a pro, you're an amateur. You guys know how it is. When you're an amateur, it's worse because you have to pay for it,
Yeah.
which is an incredible experience, but it does cost. It is hard to get there. You sacrifice relationships, time, effort, moments. So when you get to that final point, you're like, you know what? I want to have a good experience. So I walked off the stage at the Olympia and I was like, I don't know why. I'm completely depressed and unhappy. But we made it to the Olympia, I guess. Like I left. I didn't even go to the expo. I got off stage and we just left.
Wow.
So I went in and out. I didn't even stay for finals. I didn't see any of the bigger names, Derek Lunsford or
hmm
or Keon, which I'm the biggest fans of both of them. I
Yeah.
didn't get to see him because at that point I was so caught up in my little like bubble of depression that I missed out on a great experience. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I always try to tell people whether it's your first show, your last show, your 100th show, you're a pro, you're an amateur, just enjoy it because you don't get paid for it anyways. Freaking, who cares about the trophy? Make sure that you look better than last time, and that's your freaking trophy, you know?
Definitely. Yeah.
Again, I diverted completely from what you asked. I will probably do that multiple times.
No,
You
that's
might have
totally
to let
fine.
me back in.
I love it, man. I mean, you're being raw and real, and that's all about. But yeah, man,
And
that's quite the experience there.
I am curious because I was going to ask. So, overall, would you say you're still glad that you did the Olympia, even though it
Hmm.
wasn't the greatest prep? Because I've heard other pros talk about that, saying like, "Oh, I wasn't really ready, or it wasn't my best prep," and
Hmm.
some regret it, but some are like, "Man, you only get to the Olympia stage so many times." Like,
Yeah,
so I was going to ask, like, are you overall glad that you did it though? Still?
I am because it made me want to create a better experience next time. If I brought the look that you just had up on my Instagram from Detroit, that
Hmm
was my proudest look because I feel like it's the driest, hardest, and fullest look I've ever brought. So
Yeah.
if I brought that to the Olympia stage and I got the same placing, I would have been happy. But I
Yeah.
knew going into the show that I did not put 100% to this prep. I knew I was like 10 weeks out and I needed to be much fuller, much harder. I was
Yeah.
just not executing the way I was supposed to. You know what I mean?
hmm
The little details were missed. I was just worn out because I qualified for the Olympia within a year of being a pro. Like I did my pro qualifier. I went to the Optimum Classic, placed fifth as a pro. So I was like, oh, we're good. We took like a 3 to 4 month break or something, and then we got back into pushing again for the Olympia or
Yeah.
for the I'm sorry, for a tour. It was Charlotte, Pittsburgh Pro, and it was I think there was one more show. I forget. I've done like 13 pro shows. So I can't remember which one it was, but we did 3 shows, then took a minor break again, and then got ready for the Olympia because I won my qualification within like that 6 months of like getting my pro card.
Right.
So it's great, it's awesome, but whenever you actually go through it, it's not registering that, dang, this is a once in a lifetime experience. You should push harder. But again, it created the desire to want to go back and look like I did at the Detroit or better, you know what I mean? And
Definitely.
be proud of what I present on the biggest stage in the world. If that happens and I don't place well, I'm not concerned. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. It was the fact that I didn't put effort that saddened me, that depressed me at the end of it, you know?
Right. Definitely. And I mean, for it to be that quick of a timeline, give yourself a little bit of a break in that sense, because that is a very quick timeline of turning pro,
Hmm.
doing the gauntlet of the shows. Like the body could have been tired as well. There's a lot of different factors, obviously.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely something to consider. But yeah, man, I mean, from the sounds of it, it sounds like you're more hungry than ever to get back to that Olympia stage
Oh
then.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you seen the post from last year. I got in a pretty severe car accident last year.
Yeah.
Um, I was pretty freaking banged up. Your boy was rough.
I was,
But
It
yeah.
was it was definitely I was
it
watching the
was,
social media at the time. It was scary because I didn't know what the outcome was turning like. You just all I saw was a scooter. I didn't know how it was going, and then as things kind of
yeah,
progressed, obviously now where we're at now, and
yeah.
but God willing, man. I mean that's it's a
I
blessing
was
that
gonna say it's only by God's grace, dude. Like everything, the coaching, the acts, everything that has happened, it's only by God's grace. Because after we're done, after the accident happened, the junk place called my wife and was like, "Hey, we don't normally ask this, but the car is pretty total. Like it's pretty banged up. Did the people in the car survive?" And like every time we'd go places, they were surprised I was surviving it. Like they
wow.
thought I had a brain bleed. I had to stay in the hospital for like 2 or 3 days. They kept calling me back because they were like, something must be wrong with him because the swelling was just, you've seen the pictures. It just looked
Yeah,
insane. My
it was
whole leg
severe.
was
Yeah.
purple, and the other one was debilitated. I couldn't even step on it.
Hmm.
So I thought my career was over. So now I see every opportunity to compete, to do bodybuilding, to eat my meals, to not deviate from the plan as a privilege. Because like literally, it could be taken away from you like this. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you
Hmm.
guys have seen that girl that lost her legs because a dumpster truck backed
Mhm.
into her. You know what I'm talking about?
I
She's a
did, yep.
bodybuilder and she had
Hmm.
the dream. She had a coach. She was trying to do these big things. And man, she loses her legs, wakes up, no legs. That can be freaking crushing, right? Or you can
Oh
use it
yeah.
to like become the person that she is today, which is her inspiring way more than she did before she, you know, lost her legs. But I don't know, for a professional bodybuilder, for us, that our life is bodybuilding, what gives us genuinely joy, if I would be able to continue to function in life if I could not bodybuild. So
Mhm.
that period of time was very challenging, and any opportunity after that to compete, guest pose, go to a seminar and give instruction, be involved in bodybuilding is a privilege to me. You know,
Yeah. And that's why I think whenever we see you at these shows and how passionate you are, man, like it's just vibrant, like you're around you, you can just
appreciate
tell that
that.
you're very vibrant. You're just energy's high. Like it's pretty awesome to be around. So,
I appreciate that.
yeah, most definitely, man. And I think that it takes a special someone to truly like embrace the moment and truly live in the moment in that regard too.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
I
yeah.
very much so love that mindset because typically when I take stock of everything after a show, even if it's
Hmm.
not the placement that I want, being able to compete at that high level, there's so many people that can't for the exact reason we just talked about, a freak
Hmm.
accident, or maybe they were born with not the best structure or whatever it may be. So it really is a blessing. Like I love the
Absolutely.
mindset of that because yeah, man, it's cool. And there's a lot of people that can't do it for whatever reason
Yes.
it might be.
Yeah.
Yes. By the way, you have a dope physique, bro. I know that you
Yeah,
mentioned your legs
seriously, brother,
earlier,
Matt.
but the first time I seen you, I was like, man, that guy, if there's any shape to be had, this guy has it.
I
Literally.
appreciate that,
I tell
bro.
him all
You
the
know,
time. I thank God I got somebody else
it's
telling him,
crazy.
man. I tell him all the time. I see him in the gym. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
dude,
have,
your legs, his legs have come up too recently. So he's
that's
been
all you
crushing
got.
it.
All you got to do is keep doing what you're doing, dude. Like it just takes time. That's the only
Oh yeah,
thing. You're doing all the things that you're supposed to, and your physique is more than enough in terms of structure. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Coming from someone of at a stature of where I'm trying to go to, like I do, like
Yeah.
thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
I'm just a dude that lifts weights, man. I just did drugs. I just did drugs and ate a little longer than you. That's all I
What we all do.
Yeah.
I did have a question for you,
Yeah.
actually. So you said you went full-time coaching in like 2021. When
Mhm.
did the gym officially open then?
Was it 24? 24, I think. September 24. It's recently, we opened recently. So that didn't happen until like 3 or 4 years later.
how was that experience of opening the gym and balancing bodybuilding and life with all of that? Because I've
It was
been
challenging.
I've been like close to an opening of a gym, but I've never done
hmm
one myself, and I know how much time or how time consuming that could be. So I was curious
hmm
about your experience with all of that and how owning the gym has been.
So, okay, so I'm gonna start with the first question, then I'm gonna go to how
Yeah,
owning a gym
I
has
hit
been.
you with a couple.
Oh no, you're good. I love them because I relate to all of them. You know what I mean? These are things that
Hmm.
I would talk about if I had a podcast, and ask people things like that as well. So it's no, it's cool. Um, Opening the gym was challenging. We were located in Stanford. We moved to Louisville and we had to move all the equipment in our house. So we rented a Penske truck with a lift gate, a my truck and the trailer. And we drove each trip was like 2.5 hours. So
Hmm.
we do 2 trips a day and we try to move as much equipment as possible. Now, the problem there is no matter how much equipment you have to like help you move the equipment, the actual gym equipment, you're gonna have to bend over, grab things, stand up, get on a ladder. It
Mm.
was extremely strenuous in terms of muscle fatigue. So it wasn't training was not really in the picture.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was like the beginning of the week that I trained and at the end because we basically did the move in one week. We had to because otherwise my check-ins I can't get my people checked in and updated.
Mm.
And we're basically losing money when that happens. The service is not being provided. So I'm like, I cannot be out of office for that long. So we moved everything in a week. However, the preparation, opening the gym, getting permits, getting settled, moving the equipment it needs to be, all that good stuff took like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So it was strenuous. Training was minimal. I'd say once a week, but we were very close with the diet. That was the main focus. I was
Mhm.
also applying a lot of, I'd say, recovery protocols like BPC, TB,
Mm.
trying to keep my joints healthy, trying not to brace with or not brace, but bend over with my lower back and lift things improperly. You know what I mean? Just being careful, and just avoiding training because it doesn't make sense when you're not recovering well just from lifting equipment to move it to go to the gym and train more muscles. Your body's just gonna give out on you. And another risk that you run at that point, because it was summertime as well, is rhabdo, right? Like that's another worst thing that can happen, especially when I'm doing basically a health phase. I'm not on anything, and we're not getting ready for anything. So it's not like this was worth it. The rap, not that it's ever worth it, but I'm just saying it would
Yeah.
be terrible to happen from something like that. So
Yeah.
we mitigated recovery and try to prioritize, healing peptides, all that good stuff. Now, as for how it's been great, but it's been great because we've hired the right, and that's mainly my wife. We've hired the right crew, the right people to do the jobs. We have a great gym manager, Barbie. She freaking nails it. She kills it. She's awesome. And everybody in our staff, from like the front desk to the people that are taking care of the maintenance, my wife's just done a great job finding the people we need for the right jobs. So running it has not been bad at all. There's obviously stressful days, right? Like the music goes out or power's out or Wi-Fi's out, people cannot enter the building.
Mm.
But typically is resolved pretty fast because again, we have the right people in the right places. So again, I don't think we're that smart. I think God has blessed us very much so with great opportunity. And I feel like we're just people that don't necessarily look to um you'll see this a lot with coaching, but screw people over, right? We're not just looking for the money because money can come. I did it in construction, I did remodeling. Money comes, but if you're not happy, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find things that we're happy with and we can invest in and grow in, not just financially, but also as human beings, as bodybuilders. So the gym, the personal training, the coach, all those things just made sense. It wasn't like, oh, I want to make money, so I'm going to do this. A lot of people think, oh, I want to make money and sit on my ass, so I'm going to online coach. And now I'm going to start buying into all these, Instagram schemes that say, hey, I get you 15 clients in 1 week. Where is that happening at?
Yeah, it's
Who are you
crazy.
finding? Like, what demographic are you targeting? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's scams upon scams upon scams. The people that are trying to scam people for coaching are being scammed by the people that tell them that they can make them get a lot of clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it's just
It's a
being a good
terrible
coach.
vicious cycle in that regard,
Yeah,
man. It's
man, it's
so
stupid.
bad. Yeah.
It's stupid. But yeah, it's been good, man. The gym has been good. The move was stressful, but it's over. You know.
Hmm.
And now we're enjoying basically the growing parts of the gym.
Nice. Yeah, well, definitely Matt and I will have to make a trip down there sometime. Check
Yeah,
out the
man.
Oh,
check out the
Yeah,
club.
certainly.
That'd be awesome.
I'd love
Um,
that.
So as far as kind of circle and full circle from going from the car wreck to now opening the gym and now
Hmm.
moving, what are your goals going forward now with not only bodybuilding but coaching and the gym? Like what's the overall goals for you as you continue to grow? And I do want to before you answer that question, I do want to compliment one thing that I said like the passion, the positivity is vibrant off of you. You could
Hmm.
tell with your coaching as well that you genuinely care about your athletes, you care
Absolutely.
about these people, and you build that rapport and that relationship very, very well. So I
Absolutely.
guess another sidebar question: what do you do to truly try to build that rapport and grow with that individual, and
Hmm.
make sure that it's the right fit for you and the client?
Hmm. Um, so I'm going to go to the last question first because I think I forgot the first one to begin with. Hopefully I
Sorry
remember the
about that,
first one.
man. I threw like four
You
at
threw
you.
a
My
couple at
bad,
yeah.
man.
Because I was starting to think about the answer, and then the next question comes. I start thinking about
Yeah.
the answer for the second one. I forget the first one.
That's on me. That's
Um,
on me, brother. I'm still working on the host shit.
no, you're doing just fine. I love the questions, man. They've been all great. Um, so with how I build that rapport with my athletes, it's honestly just caring about them, man. Like I can think of off the top of my head, every single one of my athletes, you give me their name, I have about 50 athletes. And I could tell you exactly where they're at in their phase, what they're doing, what we need to do next. You know what I mean? Just because I've had athletes from 2015, 14, you know what I mean, that was just with me before I even started officially being a coach 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Like they were with me from way in the start. Like one of my guys, Jacob, he was not even on anything at all. He did not even know what his hormone levels was at. We got blood work. Now he's winning overall shows at an amateur show, and we're getting ready for nationals next year in open
Nice.
bodybuilding. He went from like 180, he's like 240 in better conditioning than we
Wow.
started, you know?
That's
So
pretty incredible.
it's just it's just caring. Like I went to nationals this past week and I had a bikini and a women's physique competitor, and I realized that I get more, not anxious, but more worked up and excited for my athletes stepping on stage than I do for myself. I could literally fall asleep backstage whenever I'm competing because I'm like, I know I did the work. My coach is he's the one that's supposed to be boring, not me. I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go out there and tell him do what he
Yeah,
told me.
right.
You know what I mean? So I just leave that up to him, and the stress is gone. But with my athletes, I get excited because I want it for them. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes that turns back and bites you in the butt because you want it more than the athlete does.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it ends up being just like a vicious cycle of saying, "Hey, do better," and they're like, "Yeah, whatever." So that happens instead of just being like, "Hey, I want to discontinue this relationship." But to prevent that, I typically have a consult call, and it's a two-way call. It's I'm looking at how we fit as coach client. You're looking at how we fit as an athlete to coach perspective as well. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So if I get on a call and the first thing is, how many drugs can we take? Can we eat pizza every week? When is my first free meal? Do I have to train 5 days a week? Like when the basic core questions of bodybuilding are, you should be enjoying it. When I have guys that are good, they're typically like, dude, I'm in the gym 7 days a week. Like I don't take breaks. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
loving it.
okay, now we're talking. We're gonna have to screw you back. But this is the kind of mentality I need. I'm
Mhm.
excited to get to the goal, so I'm gonna put the work in rather than saying, I don't want to be at the goal without doing the work.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's a
So I think
society
you
problem
mentioned that.
altogether. It feels like.
Absolutely. I think Matt, you might have mentioned that in the past. I think I've seen you on Instagram talking about it, but falling in love with the work and not falling in love with, you know what I mean, the outcome of the work.
A
Because
man who
eventually
loves
you're
the
gonna get
journey, right?
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because like you get there, you get that plastic trophy. Say you didn't put any work for it. What are you? It's like the guy that went in there and competed and nobody else showed up, and it's just him and got a trophy.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have a meaning. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody that did that. Obviously, you didn't know that the class was going to be empty, but
Right,
I'm just
right.
saying, say you knew and you still showed up in an empty class. It's the same thing. You're getting a free trophy for no reason. Well, you paid for it, but you know.
Yeah, he
Expensive
did.
trophy, expensive fucking
Yeah,
trophy.
A
yeah,
very
expensive trophy.
expensive trophy. It's a
Yeah.
very true point, though. I think, and I don't mean this as like to be funny or like like woe is me, but like after because I've certainly lost more than I've won because I've just
Mhm.
done a decent quantity of shows starting at a
Right.
young age. So when you do experience those tough losses and you kind of look at yourself and you're like, do you think like, do you keep going? Do you stop? And like, for me, it was never a question of stopping. So like,
Mhm.
I'm just going to keep going. So like, if you
Yeah,
are getting into the sport and you're wanting to win and that's the only, or you're wanting to make money from it and that's the only reason
Mhm.
you're doing it,
It's not happening.
No, not at all. And it's going to be a long road and a
sure, right,
long,
sure.
long trajectory ahead of you if that's what you think that this bodybuilding thing is. There's nothing about
Hmm.
money. It's about the love of the game. You gotta love
Exactly.
the process. You gotta love each and every week. You gotta love watching the body change.
Hmm.
You guys enjoy progression, and that's something that kind of I live by, and something that it's kind of helped me throughout my young adulthood. Is Tony Robbins' quote is "Progress equals happiness," and
Hmm.
I truly believe in all facets of life that's valuable and that's true,
I agree.
and especially with bodybuilding. So,
I agree 100%. Yeah, if you this is how I see bodybuilding. There's always going to be someone better.
oh yeah, always.
It
There's
really
some freak
is.
that has something crazier, something that you like that you might not have genetically, something that they have, whatever. There's always going to be someone better. So how I see it is, how did I progress? And that like you said, progress equals happiness, you know.
Definitely. Most definitely. Circling back to the question prior to that one.
Yes.
So the goals let's start with your athletic career here. So as a
Okay.
bodybuilder moving forward, being a pro, having the Olympia underneath your belt,
Mhm.
what are your goals going forward and what are your big milestones that you're trying to achieve here in your career?
Lately, with how much has been happening in life, because I travel for a show pretty much every weekend or a
Yeah.
seminar. And I love it. I want to be there for my athletes as long as it's affordable and it's financially taken care of. I'm gonna be there, right? But
Mhm.
um, I'm not necessarily, I would say, the best judge because I would redline my body on a growth phase or in a diet phase. If you tell me don't eat, I'm not gonna eat anything. If you tell me eat a lot, I'm gonna eat everything and garbage included. You know what I mean? So because I don't focus on my progress. So what I focus on is this is the plan that this man, my coach, provided for me. I'm gonna follow this plan to the best of my ability. Sometimes it's not perfect, obviously, because I'm traveling, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so currently, what we're doing is the approach we used last year before the accident for the Detroit, because I was supposed to do the Indy Super Show last year,
Mhm.
but because we set a goal that far apart, it was like 25 weeks ahead. My body responded very easily because the stress was low. So eventually, we got to like around the Detroit Pro week range, and I was like, Dean, what are you thinking? Should I hop in this show? And he's like, well, if not, we're gonna have to maintain this for another 12 weeks. It was like far away.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just freaking do it. Then there was another one a week after, another one 2 weeks after that. So we just did those shows earlier and it worked well because stress was reduced. I was not thinking myself, I got 5 more weeks, I got 10 more weeks. Some athletes work better that way.
Yeah.
For me, I'm one of those athletes because I'd rather just worry about my athletes than about how many weeks I'm out.
Mhm.
So he provides the plan, and typically I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna apply it, and we see how my body progresses in terms of fat loss. If I'm in a fat loss phase or muscle gain, if I'm in a muscle growth phase. Currently, we applied a mini cut. I responded well. We're looking kind of close to striking distance from a show.
Okay.
So we are thinking, okay, we're gonna keep taking this slow, easy approach, as long as I'm able to still execute with everything I have on my plate. And if the body turns to a direction where I'm like, I'm confident in my conditioning, then we're going to hop into a show that's close for this year, hopefully qualify for next year.
Nice.
If not, I'm going to be taking a year off and coming back at Detroit Pro next year.
Nice.
So that's the goal otherwise. You know what I mean? But I'm not setting or I'm not locking into a show specifically just
Right.
because at this point of my career as an athlete, I have to be wise with my selection. I have to find shows that number one, I know I'm capable of doing well at.
Mhm.
Because if not, I know I'm a guy still. My ego is going to be hurt. So I'm going to New York Pro or some big show and I finish freaking 10th. I've never been out of the top five. Fifth is the lowest I've been. Watch me talk about this and then end up sixth this year. That would suck.
No, we're not speaking. We're gonna no,
Yeah,
we're manifesting that win. We're
that energy.
manifesting that. Yeah, that's it. You're going to the
Knock on
Olympia,
wood.
brother.
Knock on wood. But yeah, that's the plan essentially, man. I try not to worry too much about it. I just follow it. And then
Yeah.
if he's like, you know what, you're 5 weeks out from a show, you look good. Let's freaking ramp up the intensity here. Let's make sure you up your cardio, whatever. Because right now I'm doing 20 minutes of cardio,
Mhm.
about 3 to 4 times a week. Calories are not extremely low.
Mhm.
We're just moving to a new house and everything has been very well tolerated and my conditioning is improving. So as long as we can keep nailing that routine now that I'm moved in and settled and everything is locked in, I feel like we'll progress pretty fast and probably hopping into a show maybe in August. Maybe,
Nice. Yeah,
maybe.
maybe, maybe. We're not going to hold that quote to you, but regardless, it feels like that's a really smart approach nowadays from a lot of bodybuilders is like you have a couple month range, of like what shows you're
Hmm.
aiming for. And I've actually adapted that approach to a couple of my athletes personally, and I feel like it takes
Hmm.
a lot of stress off. Like it
Yes,
relieves the stress of like I have to be ready by this date, and if we're not ready by like 3 weeks out, like we're screwed. Like it's this whole
exactly.
process. And if you just have like an open window of like, hey, there's like 4 or 5 shows in this window, we'll see where we land. I feel
Hmm.
like it relieves so much stress on the athlete and the coach. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
man, that's
And there's some people, like my wife doesn't respond to that. My wife
mhm.
wanted to be like on the red zone where I'm like, hey, if you don't lock in now, I'm gonna pull you out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? That happens for me around 13, 12 weeks out. If I see that the athlete is not where I want them to be, you're not doing the show.
yeah, you gotta pull
So
them.
typically we get to that mark and she's like, okay, I'm ready to lock in. And then when she hammers down, it's just she freaking needs like 8 weeks. She doesn't need that long because she's
Mhm.
executing. But prior to that, it's almost like, oh, we lose 1 week, we don't lose as much the next week, we lose a little more next. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
very up and down.
right.
Um, but yeah, every athlete mentally, I feel like is a little different. So some people you have to tell them, hey, we have 13 weeks, we have 15 weeks, however long we have,
Yep.
lock in. And other people you just have to be like, hey, I don't want to stretch you out too much. So we're just gonna find a show around that time. We're gonna figure out from there. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And like take that stress off. And there's like you were saying, you have a couple athletes that are like that. I have a few that you have to hammer it in, and then you have a couple that are just open window. It's like, hey, we'll figure it out. Um,
Exactly.
and the regards of coaching, where do you want this coaching to go? Do you want to be coaching Olympians, or do you want to be getting those guys from the amateur level to the pro level? Like where exactly are you
Hmm.
wanting to stand as a coach? And what's your overall big goals here?
So I was more interested in this question than prior, but because again, I see myself as a coach first and then as an athlete. And I really enjoy coaching. Like it's always been my dream. I'm very thankful I'm able to do it. Um, I would like to see more of my amateur athletes become pro. My fulfillment doesn't come by taking a pro that's already a pro and established and getting them a win or getting, you'll get there. You got the genetics. One time you lock in, if you're going to lock in ever, and you're
Mhm.
going to get it with the right coach, with the right time, or you just commit and you just freaking do it, something.
Yeah.
But if you take someone from being a guy that's just a regular gym goer, you get them to qualify for nationals. Then you get them at national level. You start building their placing. Eventually, you get them in the top five. They get their pro card. Now they're competing as pros on the same stages you're competing in. Whole
Yeah.
different level,
Oh yeah.
right? Like when I turned my wife pro, I was like, I want to have this experience every single time. Like I want to be able to get people from the amateur to the pro level and be happy, like see them flourish in that aspect, and then start working in the pro level, whatever, in the pro league.
Mhm.
But to me, that's one of the biggest accomplishments. And I also believe it's the most tough task because pros already have a following, they already have traction, there's
Mhm.
already a bias. No matter how we want to see it, the reality is the top five at the Olympia should be different every year. Like these people should not be in the same place because they
Yeah.
don't always nail it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
typically they are because there's traction, there's biases, there's the personality, there's all these things that culminate. Now, the amateur level is not necessarily like that. You have really freaking good guys, especially at the national level in classic, even females in physique, figure, and they're very competitive.
Mhm.
I want to be in there in the trenches with the people that are at their best, freaking fighting for that pro card. And then obviously, I want to see them flourish in the pro level and take them further,
Right.
hopefully to the Olympia and all that stuff, you know. And I already have athletes that I believe will get there. But, like, for example, I have Stephanie currently. We went to nationals this last week and she's competing again in Pittsburgh. And this is going to be her third show with me, and we've significantly from first show, her last national show until now, I think she's like 20 or 30 pounds heavier, and this is the first time she had striations on her quads and glutes. And then the second show now, we only had like 6 months after since December. She competed
Mhm.
at nationals, and she's 18 pounds heavier.
Damn.
18 pounds heavy. Now, again, these are genetic freaks, right? This is not a normal individual. But I know
Mhm.
if I have this girl do curls 5 times a week at this frequency with this, she'll grow. So we know
Mhm.
that she has the genetics. So I want to see her become that. You know what I mean? With my
Definitely.
help, with my guidance. So I think that's where I'm leaning towards, man. I don't necessarily want to get like getting pros is great, but it's kind of like underwhelming. Like,
Yeah.
all right, you're a
You
pro,
want to
dude.
earn
Let's
that pro
let's
card. You want to earn that status. And you could tell by
yeah,
just
man.
like chatting with you, you could tell you're more enthusiastic over these athletes getting that pro card than we were talking about you getting back to the Olympia too. So it's
Hmm.
quite awesome in that regard that yeah, as a coach, like you're all about your athletes, you're all about their success and their wins are major wins for you too. So that's
Thank you.
it's really a beautiful thing because like you were saying earlier, we see a lot of coaches now that are really just looking for that paycheck. They're just looking for that monthly
Yes.
bill that comes in, and they'll sign you off, say, hey, everything looks good when things aren't so good, whether it's health
Yep.
wise or whether it's truly physique wise, but they don't care. They got a check signing off to it. So
It's
it's just
sad. Maybe we'll do another I would love to do another episode with just talking about
yeah.
bad coaching. Just
Yeah,
dogging.
we would thoroughly enjoy
Or
that.
let me reword this. Coaching approaches. I will
Yes,
just say
coaching
that.
Ah,
Coaching
approaches.
yes,
approaches,
more
stuff that
politically
we've
correct.
seen, we don't
More
use.
politically correct.
I will say, I think that's the biggest tell for a great coach is when they take somebody who is just an average gym goer and they do turn them pro. I
Yes,
think that getting people in shape can be a little, I don't want to say easy because there's nothing necessarily easy about coaching,
sure.
but I think that some coaches get away with having maybe a better reputation because they can get people kind of in shape. But
Yes.
and I feel like you can overcompensate with drugs and cardio in that situation to like get
Yes.
them lean, even if it's not the best look for them. But
Hmm.
when you see those athletes end up looking the same year to year and they're not making
Hmm.
any progress in the off season.
Hmm.
So when you can take that person from super like regular average gym physique to that pro status, I think that's like the biggest like
Tip feather in the cap, in
feather in
my
the.
opinion. Yeah,
I was
most
looking for
definitely.
that phrase. I was not
Yes.
gonna find it.
I thought
But
I
yeah.
saw the hand come up a little bit, so I was like, he's definitely talking about feather in the cap.
This is why we're a team here. So
Yes,
yes, that is
exactly.
that was my main point.
And to add to that, man, when you see coaches that are successful, we're not necessarily the most popular.
No.
Even really good, well-known coaches, their following is not massive. The
Yeah.
people that you go to and their following is massive, they're more of a celebrity than they are an actual coach. They're influencers, not bodybuilders.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, where do
Mhm.
you have the time when you're talking to 100 people to make 5 posts a day with a professional camera?
Oh
And
yeah.
like, you're an influencer, you're not a bodybuilder, you're not a coach. You know what I mean? And that
Hmm.
is fine, but don't portray like, oh, I'm educated and I am intellectual in terms of coaching. I'm
All
like, I
right.
don't even speak like that, bro. Like, and I'm not talking about anybody specific, but you know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they'll have like the professional camera and it's zoomed in, the background's blurred out, which I don't even freaking know how to do that. I've been trying to figure it out for years now. I can't freaking figure it out. Like you hear their voice nice and deep, and they have like makeup on. And like, yeah, how I approach my coaching. I'm like, what? Where?
It's like, where are you even
I'm
getting this from,
sweating.
brother?
I look like a mess when I'm, you know what I mean? These
Mhm.
people look all put together. But um, yeah, my point to that was guys like you, man, that you actually study the sport, you do the sport, you enjoy the sport. That's who's going to be able to accumulate the knowledge to be able to make it palatable for athletes to consume and also execute,
Mhm.
right? Like whenever you are just a guy that's an influencer, they basically just send text out with instructions and it never works. And I get a lot of athletes like that. They're like, yeah, my coach just worked through text and he'd send me updates once a week. He'd ask for my weight for that one day and my pictures for that one day. And I'm like,
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
dude, what about like you ate a free meal 3 days ago? Maybe you ate a free meal last night. We're
Yeah.
not tracking the daily weight. We're not tracking the daily variables. Like, what are we doing here? What's your
Yeah.
blood pressure, dude? Like,
Yeah.
and
What's the
there'll be
blood
guys that
pressure? What's sleep? What deviations? What other deviations do you have throughout the week? What stress levels are like? There's so many different things that you aren't even considering. All you care about the weight is the
100%.
photos. Um,
100%.
man, that's discouraging to hear. That's rough. That's rough.
And it's a
But
lot at the top level too, man. I get those athletes that come to me that have hired the best coaches, and they come to me, they're like, man, I have been getting ripped off for years. And I'm like, no, you have been receiving the coaching that you paid for. I'm a different service. It's a different coaching style. Don't complain. Don't blame it on the coach. You also have responsibility. That's
oh
a
yeah,
whole nother subject.
definitely. Yeah, you
We'll talk
definitely.
about
That's
it
why we're
next
gonna bring you back
time.
on, brother. You can kind of walk us through that.
I'd
Well,
love that. I'd love that.
those newer competitors that are like finding out about bodybuilding via Instagram, they're kind of
Hmm.
getting like duped or fooled a little bit because they look to those coaches with the big followings. They're like, oh, if they have the big followings, they're probably the best coach out there. And that
Right.
is,
It's
or
not even remotely close.
yeah, or the
Not
same
even
thing like, oh,
remotely.
they've got a great physique, they must be a great coach too. And like there are very good coaches with very good physiques, but just
Yeah.
because you have a great physique and you're a great bodybuilder
Does
yourself
not.
Does not
doesn't
Hmm.
make you
always
a good
equate.
coach.
Yeah.
No, does
That's right.
not.
That's right. I agree 100%. And that's one thing that attracted me to my coach whenever I switched, because I've only had two coaches in the sport.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say who the last one was. Probably if you look in the past posts, you probably can find him.
Mhm.
I just didn't like the previous approaches, and I was getting sick at the end of a second tour that we did together as pros. Well, as a pro, he had already qualified me for the Olympia. It was the prep that I qualified for the Olympia actually. And so Dean and I met in at the New York Pro. I was sick. I was supposed to compete, and I had to send a letter that I cannot compete because I was sick from doing 3 shows in a row. I think I just caught something. It wasn't anything severe.
Mhm.
And I met him, and he's like, "Yeah, well, what are you currently doing? Why are you feeling this way?" He was just asking just to know what I'm doing. And I told him, and we kind of sat down, and I was like, it seems like you are way more in-depth educated than what I'm currently receiving. And I've been sensing that because I provide better coaching than my coach provides to me so far. It was more like a gauge what I had because, like, he would tell me to take an X amount of drugs, and I would just divide it by two and take that amount. If that puts it in perspective, you know
Wow.
what I mean? So if I'm a classic guy, I shouldn't be taking open guy cycles when I have decent genetics. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I shouldn't
right.
be doing that. So it's just I don't know, man. I feel like when you don't have a lot of followers and you're a good coach, you still get recognized. There's a
Yeah.
lot of good coaches out like I'm looking at people like Austin Brown, like all these local guys. You guys, I'm,
Mhm.
I'm sure you're doing a great job with your athletes because you care, you
Oh
know.
yeah, genuinely.
Um, and the portfolio is also what speaks volumes about the athletes or the coaches. Like how many people do you see them having that have it before and an after, not just the after, not just they compete on the New York Pro, the
Oh
big
yeah.
pros for years, they're in the top five, and all of a sudden they placed fourth instead of fifth. Like, okay, man, like that we get it. You did okay with them, but this is a genetic freak. Like you cannot be taking people like this is just an example, Nick Walker or Tony Burton,
Yeah.
and be like, yeah, we had a major. You got him a little tighter. You probably had them died a little longer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe
That's
had
all
them
it
do actual
was.
cardio. You know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
maybe
Like,
threw in a compound that they haven't,
Mhm.
that's new to them or a different dosage, whatever it might be. Like there's not many variables that you could change for genetic freaks like that. You know what I
no,
mean? So
no, no,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
something else. Well, I think we're kind of at the point in the cast where I tend to kind of throw in some bodybuilding questions towards you, brother. So
Sure.
give me your favorite bodybuilder of all time and why.
Mhm.
Flex Wheeler.
Okay.
Great answer.
All right.
Great
um,
answer.
Timeless,
if I could
man.
if I could look like him, I definitely would. It's just the perfect proportions, perfect muscularity, perfect size, nothing bigger, nothing tighter. He wasn't peeled like bodybuilders are nowadays, but he didn't need to be.
Mm, nope.
If he looked any sharper, I feel like he wouldn't look as great.
Right.
I think that was the most unfair, unfairly treated Olympian that should have been an Olympia, Mr. Olympia in the past. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, all the other ones are great, but Flex Wheeler was the one that I feel like should have been Mr. Olympia for a reign as long as freaking Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah,
You
Ronnie or
know?
Lee or Jay,
Hmm.
these big names that we have. Yeah, I feel like he's overlooked in that regard, and he truly does have like
Yes,
an incredible physique. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Those
absolutely
90s guys in the early 2000s, like they were all so they had a different look because like you said,
unique.
they weren't just they were not as sharp, but that
Yeah,
extra fullness just gave them a different kind of look. And all of the shows had the black
Mhm.
backdrop. They all like
Yeah.
Ken
yes,
Marone, Sean Ray, Flex Wheeler, like you said, all those guys were so
hmm
sick. I
They
think
just looked like action figures,
great
dude.
era.
Just action
yes.
figures on stage, and that's literally like you can't make it any better than that. So,
Hmm. There's
yeah, great choice.
currently there's more bodybuilders that are similar to that, like Andrew Jack, but there's just
Mhm.
something a little off. It could be the
Mhm.
posing, it could be the flair, it could be the way they present the physique, whatever. It's
Mhm.
just not quite the same. You know what I
No,
mean?
I
definitely.
agree.
And obviously, this is an amateur speaking, but I will say I feel like Flex had more pop than Andrew. I feel like Flex it just jumps out of the screen
Yeah,
versus
dude.
Andrew
Looks
doesn't
like
jump
AI,
out. Yeah, yeah, it literally
Mhm.
you
does.
know?
Yeah. If you
It's
type in
crazy.
like give me the most aesthetically symmetrical bodybuilder, there's gonna pull a picture of Flex. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's a good one.
I hate what
Um,
happened to him, man, with the whole conditions. Like I
yeah.
was watching the documentary and I didn't realize that he had gone through so many things. Like he broke his neck during his
Mhm.
career, came back, got on the Olympia stage, did all that stuff, and then had the other health complications later on. Just sucks, man. Just sucks to
Yeah.
see that. Going back
Yeah.
to what we were talking about earlier, you never know when it
Never.
could be all over. So enjoy it while
Mhm.
you can, you know?
Most definitely enjoy each day, man. And that's a message that we don't hear enough, but we need to continue to preach is enjoy each day
Yes,
because you never know when it's going to be your last. And it's something that's
that's right.
you have to truly live in the moment. So
Mhm.
I agree.
um yeah. And then one more final bodybuilding question for you. I know that you're a classic guy, so I'm going to refrain from classic, but for open,
Mhm.
give me your top five Mr. Olympia prediction for the open class this year.
are way too early open a
Way
prediction.
too early. Yeah,
I
way too
know, I
early.
know. And you know what's crazy too, man? I don't know. Everybody's just showing up so different. Like
Hmm.
Quentin looked freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tonio has never looked better.
Oh,
Oh
Tony was
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
You know, those are the physiques I'd be going with. I like Derek. I
Mhm.
like Andrew Jack. I like Samson. I don't think they look as like when you see Tonio. I seen him at the Emerald Cup guest posing.
Yep.
I was like, dude, why the hell?
Hopefully he comes back here in a second.
Oh,
I think we may have lost it towards the back end, but he's not wrong. Tonio is one of those top guys that could be fighting for that top five for sure. And I love Tonio's physique personally. So,
agreed.
um, um,
Lead
all
it
right,
off.
guys. Thank you. Yes, off the clap. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and please go follow Black Rambo on Instagram.
Mhm.
Show Daniel the support. Go ahead and show Matt support and me support as well. Check out all of our coaching, and we greatly appreciate you guys for watching. So please drop a like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, keep working.
And on my end, I know Daniel's not here, but I want to thank him for hopping on because I think
Yes, yeah. Thank
this was a
you.
great interview. I think we did a fantastic host
I think
co-host job.
yes, I'd say so, brother. I think that we
Hats off
killed
to
it.
us.
That's up to us is right, brother.
Mm.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks, Matt, for jumping in here. Brave the storm, brother. Hopefully tomorrow you get better, my friend.
I will be fine. We'll figure it out.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Yep, I'll talk to you later, dude.
See you.